What's up? Welcome to the Storytime Podcast. I'm Tim.
I'm Adam.
And we're in the middle of reading through my first novel I ever started to write and finish, Angelic Wars, Legend of the Godchild. Angelic Wars, Book 1. I think it's a little too late to say it here, but I'm going to say it anyway. There is no Angelic Wars Book 2.
What? I was looking forward to book 2.
I know.
Angelic Wars in space.
No, that's when you get to like the 6th or 7th book when you've lost ideas, but it's such a successful series, you keep it going, and you just add in space to it.
Angelic Wars in the multiverse.
Okay, no. So if you don't know this one, we read a book, Adam reads a chapter from the book, then we discuss it afterwards. Before we get to the reading, we have some stuff we got to take care of. That is, first off, if you go into like this, we'd love it if you hit that like button, and not just like it, smash that like button as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because we've got writing content on this channel. And if you not in the mood for writing content at the moment after this, why don't you go and check over Adam's channel, ZOP Gaming, for some terrible gameplay.
We are so good at being mediocre.
Now, you're so good at being bad.
Hey, that's just a step below mediocre.
I love that you're no longer calling yourself so mid.
Hey, you know what? Someone's got to be a sidekick to themselves.
Okay. Well, now that we got that out of the way, we'll get to Adam's reading, and then afterwards we'll be back with the discussion.
Chapter 18. Found. Trowel walked up the stairs of the basement to the long hall. After closing the door, he walked down the hall to the living room where Monono was standing, looking out the window. "We have a problem," Trowel began. "Oh," Monono said. "What would that be?" "The dragon now wants the scroll and the girl," Trowel continued. "I just barely survived a battle against Dr. Tola, who just happened to be a servant of the dragon." "I am not surprised to find this out," Monono replied. "There are many followers of the beast, and I and the other coven leaders do not know of. He shields them from our knowledge." "Oh," Troll said. "So, how are we going to get out of this mess?" "What mess would that be?" Monono asked. "This trap that the dragon has set for us," Troll said. "I have no doubt that the dragon set a trap for me," Monono said. "However, you cannot rely on what that idiot Tola said. The dragon does not want anything to do with the girl and the scroll. If he did, he wouldn't have used the scroll when he found the girl." "So we don't have to worry about the dragon," Trowel said. "Then why did he set this trap?" "To get the Almighty to act against me," Monono said. "So he can get rid of me. Because he knew, out of all the coven leaders, I would be the one that would overthrow him if it were to happen." "Oh," Trowel replied. "What happened to you?" Monono asked. "You look like you've been in a battle." Did you just not listen to me?" Trowel asked. "I just finished fighting Dr. Tola. I had no clue he was so knowledgeable in the dark arts." "Well, he was a servant of the dragon," Monono said. "Also, he was much older than you. So it is only reasonable for him to know so much." "No matter what I did to him, he was hardly hurt, except for 2 attacks," Trowel said. "His knowledge allowed him to increase his immunity to powerful magic like yours," Monono said. The only person who can actually have hurt him would have been himself. How did he survive that element attack of his? Charles asked. He said that it was strong enough to kill even him. I just told you. The only person who could beat him was himself, Monona replied. The attack did huge damage to him. However, he most likely used a charm that kept him alive, just in case. Somehow, you reversed the attack back at him. Since he did not know all the abilities you have, he wanted to make sure he didn't die. The charm clearly did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was to keep him alive. After that attack, he was no match for you. The charm clearly did exactly what it was supposed to do, which was to keep him alive. After that attack, he was no match for you. That is why, when you summoned the Shadkin, it was able to kill him. If he was still able to use his powers, the Shadkin would have failed. Since you seem to know everything that happened, Charles said, how come when I returned back to the basement, no time had passed? The girl said that he just left the cell when I returned. You really need to freshen up on your magic, Charles, Monono said. That world you fought in was created by Tola. That is where he has been hiding until it was time to emerge. It exists in his thoughts, so as long as the creator dies, anyone inside returns to the real world. It's exactly after when they first went in. Old sorcerers used it so they could change the tides of war that dragged on for years. Oh, Charles said. Well, I have some business to finish with the girl. I'll be back in a bit. Fuck you with all that Monona shit. Meanwhile, down in the basement, Natalie tried to get comfortable, now shackled to the wall. She tried to slip free, but the cuffs were too tight to even hope of slipping her hands through. This sucks, she said. I guess this is what the Almighty meant by I would have to deal with the consequences for my actions. Actually, he said you would suffer for your actions, said Cyrus as he walked into the cell from the basement. So, I'm guessing that things are gonna get worse as we get closer to the end of the conflict. Oh, great, Natalie said. I should have just stayed here. Yes, you should have, Cyrus said. However, I come with news that might cheer you up. Kiana told you about the scroll? Natalie asked. No, Cyrus said. If she had, I would be getting you out of here now instead of later. Oh, Natty said, letting her head drop to her chest. A few moments later, she raised her head again and stared Cyrus in his eyes. You just said instead of later, didn't you? Boy, you are slow, Cyrus said. Yes, I said that. The Almighty does want you to be away from the action. So, when are you going to set me free? Natalie asked. I'm not sure, Cyrus replied. Wait, how are you going to get me out of here? Natalie asked. What about Monono? He isn't going to just let you free me. I know, Cyrus said. Whenever you are to be free, Monono will be kept busy. So until then, just hang around. Really funny, Natalie said. A noise from the top of the stairs was heard below in the basement. Natalie realized that someone had been listening in on her and Cyrus's conversation. She quickly began talking to herself like that is all she had been doing. Trial walked down the hall back into the living room after closing the door to the basement. That girl was talking to someone. Trial. She tried to pass it off that she was talking to herself. She was talking to Cyrus, Monono said. He is a common angel from the righteous army. How do you know? Trial asked. I saw him fly away. Trial walked over to Monono and stood at his left side looking out the window and saw in the far distance Cyrus flying away.
Yeah, that was supposed to be from Monono's voice.
What if he had freed the girl? Trial asked. You didn't do anything to stop him. Our plan would be back to where it was only a few days ago. Cyrus knows better than to try to free the girl, Monono said. He knows my strength as it is, and as a common angel, he would not stand a chance against the likes of me. He was just doing the dirty work for Michael. They are going to plan a rescue, attempt to free the girl and get her away from us. However, I will be ready and waiting for them. They will not stop my plans this time. If he was planning not to free the girl, Trial said, what was he doing here? More than likely, telling her the plan of how they will get her out, Monono said. The Almighty fears me and is trying to stop me from removing him from his throne. He is selfish, caring more about himself than anyone on this planet, like he claims to do. I would too, Droll said, if I were him. However, soon you will have his throne, and I will be at your left hand. Cyrus was out of their sights. Well, at least Troll's. A thought popped into his head, and he thought of how he should phrase the question. After thinking of it for a few minutes, he was about to ask. He is going to check on the girl's sister, Monono said. He wants to make sure she is doing fine alone before he leaves to meet up with Michael. Then we should have followed him, Trial said. Thanks to you, we lost a chance to get the scroll back. You're lucky. You are a faithful servant, Monono said. If you were taller and had said that to me, I would have killed you. I have already sent the the shotgun, looking for her hiding place to follow Cyrus. He will wait until after he leaves to get the scroll back. What if the girl told him that she had the scroll? Charles said a little nervously. He would have freed the girl already, Monono said. They would have risked losing one common angel for a human. Since he did not, shows they still think we have the scroll. They clearly would have thought we would have killed the girl by now, Charles said. That is, if we had the scroll. Not when they have false information, Monono said. One of the few pieces of information about the Godchild is that the child must be killed on a certain day. That, however, is a lie that I started to fool the righteous army. For the day I found the Godchild. When was this day? Troll asked. Tomorrow, Monono said. So they will be planning their rescue attempt a little before midnight. When they think I will kill the girl. Unfortunately for them, I will have killed her already and taken that power of the Almighty for myself. Then I will send whatever forces they send to the abyss and continue with my plan. Perfect, Troll said. Later that evening, Cyrus flew along and high in the sky, and just reached the turnaround point to where he could safely fly low and fast to reach the cabin without being seen. Like before, he saw where he needed to go and flew as fast as he could towards the spot. He went faster than he did when he had Kiana. The speed he was going now would have killed her instantly. Her body wouldn't have been able to deal with all that pressure. Traveling about 20 times faster than he did with Kiana, he reached the spot within moments. He had covered close to 7 miles within that short amount of time. This time, he didn't stop suddenly when he arrived at the spot. He went right through the branches, causing tons of snapping sounds. He landed 4 feet from the door. Before he moved, he made his wings vanish, then brushed himself off. He was about to knock on the door when he remembered something and ran around the back to a small woodpile. He grabbed a few logs and slowly made his way back to the front door. Meanwhile, inside the cabin, Kiana had been busy reading a book when she heard the snapping sound of the branches. She got up and looked out the window to see what she could see. There was nothing there. She then saw something run by the windows on the side. Kiana jumped and became a little frightened, thinking that it was another dragpent coming to take her back. After a few moments, she drew up enough strength to look out the side window. Again, she saw nothing. Still sure that she saw something pass by the window, she looked again. As she looked the second time, a knock came at the door. Kiana jumped and almost hit the ceiling. Not thinking before she spoke, she called out to see who it was. "Who's there?" cried Kiana. "It's Cyrus," said a voice. "Let me in. My hands are full with logs for the fire." Kiana grabbed the door and opened it. Cyrus walked in with Kiana shutting the door quickly behind him. She almost closed the door on his left arm, but he turned to the side to avoid the door. You seem a little jumpy, Cyrus said. I think one of those creatures is outside, Kiana said. I saw something run past the windows, yet I could not see when I looked out them. That was me, Cyrus said. I had to go around to the back to grab some wood for the fire. Sorry if I scared you. I guess the breaking of twigs and sticks as I came through the trees didn't help much. Cyrus put the logs of wood next to the fireplace and threw one into the fire. Then he turned and stood and faced Kiana. You could say that, Kiana said. So, did you see Natalie? Is she okay? As she grabbed onto his trench coat, she pulled like she demanded to know what was going on outside the cabin. Relax, Cyrus said, pulling Kiana's hand from his coat. She is fine. She is just trying to sort out why all of this is happening. She had a little visit from the Almighty himself in a dream, as well as my conversation with her. Please tell me she will be all right, Kiana said. You will get her out before they kill her. Yes, Cyrus said. Monono knows we are planning a rescue, but he thinks it will be close to midnight when he plans to kill her and open the scroll. However, I'm going to try to free her within a few hours. Something's going to keep Monono and that sorcerer of his busy. What are you going to do once you free her? Kiana asked. I'm going to wait for Michael to come, Cyrus said. Then we'll go from there. Something tells me this conflict is not going to end without one of us facing Monono in battle. Wow, Kiana said. That would be really cool to see. 2 angels fighting it out to see who wins? Not really, Cyrus said. Angel battles are one of the worst forms of battle ever. Especially when you have 2 strong ones going at it. So much power and pride on the line. That's why most of the battles are done in a spiritual setting. This way none of the Almighty's people will get caught in the middle of it. It seems like my sister and I did, Kiana said, reminding Cyrus of their current situation. Yes, I know. Cyrus said, every now and then humans get caught in the battle. Especially when an item or something the fallen army is after falls into the hands of a human. However, Kiana said, they always come out alive in the end, right? Not always. Cyrus said, humans have died from getting caught in the battle. However, if you have the Almighty in your heart and are doing the best you can to live for him, no matter if you die within the battle, you will be one with the Almighty forever. Oh, Kiana said. While Cyrus was inside with Kiana, the Shadkin who followed him by ground was watching from within the darkness of the woods. The Shadkin had been there in the shadows watching for some time. So this is where the girl is hiding, said the voice of the Shadkin through its host. I must inform Master at once. The Shadkin walked back into the woods a few hundred feet to be far enough away from the cabin, then pulled out a small red stone and rubbed it with its fingers. A red glow quickly appeared, and instantly the host's skin vanished. The Shadkin smiled and grabbed another stone from within its armor. The stone was green, and after rubbing it, a tint of green glow was visible from the darkness. The creature dropped the green jewel where it stood, then vanished into the shadows. Within moments, the Shadkin emerged in the living room of Dr. Toller's house, where Troll and Monono were still talking. Monono quickly noticed the creature had appeared and turned his attention to it. Why are you here? Monono asked. In a screechy high tone, the Shadkin responded. I have found the hiding place of the girl in the scroll, said Shadkin. They are in a cabin on the other side of the mountain, which is covered by trees. So, you have the scroll? Troll asked. No, said the Shadkin, facing Troll. Then what are you doing here? Troll said in an angry voice. Go get it before you miss your chance. Easy, Monono said. The Shadkin was making sure that if it fails to get the scroll and the girl, we know where she is and can get it ourselves. Oh, Troll said. Cyrus must still be with the girl, so that is why it came here? Yes, Monono said. But where is its host? Troll asked. The Shadkin opened its hand and showed him the red jewel that was glowing so brightly. You see, Monono said, the Shadkin use the Quinn jewels for certain tasks, such as holding in a host body while they move through the shadows. It all depends on the color of the jewel. The red ones hold their hosts, while the green ones allow their Shadkin to move instantly back to the place where the jewel is. The other colors do other things, but they are not used as much. Okay, Troll said. Master, said the Shadkin, I must return to the cabin. Go, Monono said. Wait until Cyrus leaves and is far enough away before you move in. The Shadkin shook its head and vanished, and reappeared in the woods near the cabin. The Shadkin appeared out of the jewel before the jewel stopped glowing. The Shadkin crushed the red Quinn jewel, and its host body returned. It picked up the green jewel and placed it in its pocket and returned to its hiding place, waiting for the time to strike. I must go, Cyrus said. When are you going to free my sister? Kiana said. Soon. Please don't go, Kiana said. I have to, Cyrus said. If I miss this chance, then there might not be another one to get Natalie free without having to face Monono in battle. Okay, Kiana said. Are you going to bring Natalie back here once you free her? That's the plan, Cyrus said. Sage might show up before I return, so you might not be alone for too long. Cyrus walked over to the door, opened it, and headed outside. All right, Kiana said as she followed after him to watch him take off. She could not get enough of seeing his angel wings. Cyrus walked a few feet from the cabin and spread his wings. With one quick flap, he took off through the sky. He took off through the trees into the sky. Kiana watched in amazement how fast he was able to get into the sky. After a few moments, Kiana turned and headed inside. Once she was in, she turned to shut the door, but before she could get it all the way closed, a boot stopped the door from closing. Kiana didn't see what was stopping the door, so she pulled it open and was about to slam it shut when a hand stopped the door from moving. She looked up and saw Dr. Toller standing in the doorway. Ah! I can't scream. Ah! Kiana screamed as she tried even harder to shut the door on him. However, her strength could not contend with his. He quickly pushed the door all the way open, which sent Kiana flying to the floor. When she looked up, she noticed that there was something different about him now. She quickly saw it in the eyes. They were completely black and had a strange purplish glow, which creeped her out. That was until she heard it speak. Where is the skull, you little pest? Dr. Toll said with a mixture of his voice and that of the shadkin that dwelled in his body. You're not the same person, Kiana said. You're right, said the shadkin. He has been long dead, and I took over. You're not one of the dragon creatures, are you? Kiana asked. No, said the shadkin. I'm a different creature, and the more powerful than those stupid drag pants could even hope to be. I am also more ruthless than they are as well. They enjoy killing people, while I enjoy torturing them before I kill them. Dr. Toller was an exception. Master wanted him dead, so I did what he asked. Now where is the skull? The shadkin was now towering over her and breathing its awful breath that smelled like something that had died years ago. It's in my backpack, Kiana said, pointing to it over on the kitchen table. The shadkin rushed over to the kitchen table and ripped it open. Food and water flew everywhere, leaving only the scroll, which it grabbed and then returned its attention to Kiana. Master said bring you to him, said the shadkin. However, he didn't say you had to be in one piece. Kiana could not believe what she saw. The left arm slowly started to extend to a long black blade close to 4 feet in length. The shadkin rushed at Kiana with its new weapon and slashed at her. She quickly jumped towards the door from her kneeling position just before the blade slashed through the floor. Kiana quickly got up and ran out the door into the woods, with the shadkin right behind her. She tripped and fell to the ground only several feet from the cabin. When she looked back, the shadkin was upon her and was bringing down the blade on her body. She closed her eyes and awaited the blow that would take her to be with the Almighty.
So, Adam, why were you flipping me off when it came to the shadkin's voice?
Oh, because you said it was shrill. And I was like, oh, come on, man. It's bad enough that I had to do so much Monono in this episode.
Don't look at me.
You gave me a new
You were the one who
voice.
decided to do the voice that way. And you're the one who decided to do Monono's voice like that.
I mean, I am changing Monono's voice.
Again.
Because eventually I'll nail it. And then, the final chapter will happen and we'll be done.
If he's even around by then.
I mean, or the last... I'll nail it for the last time he's around. Actually, I think I've nailed it pretty well already.
No, he's in the last chapter. Or for how long? Or does he win? Come on. It's a YA novel.
Yeah, he doesn't win. The good guys win.
The good guys don't even win. They're young adults. They just won't shut up about their victories.
And all the information to the bad guys.
Yeah, and anyway, I actually put a note next to that bullet to ask you about that at the start.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to. Because it's like, let's just go there. Oh, and by the way, so we're back to Charles again.
It's Troll.
Yes,
Troll.
But you started this chapter off with Charles.
I did no.
I had to put a note here, right at the beginning.
I did not.
So we're back to Charles.
It's not Charles.
It's Troll.
It's Troll.
He's a troll. We're dealing with a troll.
Jim,
get it right.
Only on Tuesdays do I like to eat tuna fish sandwiches. Okay, it's a ch sound when you have a T in there. Oh, the British understand that, okay?
The British are wrong.
Come on. They call it aluminium. I'm still not sure where they get the extra I from.
Again, they're wrong.
And the extra N.
Anyway, but yes, you said that, but you did much better. After that, I did not hear Charles again. Well, one or two times you came a little close, but it was clear you were saying troll.
Yeah.
But... all right, big picture of the story. What are your thoughts?
Very good chapter.
Okay.
I enjoyed the fact that you weaved a number of storylines all at the same time in this chapter instead of, just giving us another chapter.
Okay. Oh.
So yes, it's good job. Good job.
And you can tell if you listen to the last episode. Yes, when Troll, not Charles, Troll.
It's not Charles. It's
He's
Troll.
a troll. We're
Troll.
dealing with a troll. Said he has some unfinished business. That was to continue the hype of what he was apparently going to try to do in the last chapter. That was in there, but off screen. But then got cut for this draft. So I'm like,
there's a lot of.
I actually remember to fix this one here.
Uh-huh.
Unlike other things that in this chapter we'll come up with.
Yeah,
that I didn't fix.
There was other things that you didn't fix in this chapter.
That did take place that then I changed and didn't.
Meanwhile, in the basement.
Oh, don't worry.
Further up in the evening.
Don't worry, I got a note on that one. But when we get
back
there,
at the cabin.
so, but
back at Dr. Toller's house, even though Dr. Toller's dead.
I do love here. It's like after that one, it's like Troll literally just told me, no, what happened.
I love that opening page. Troll walks in there. Now, once again, Monono's just looking out the window.
Yep.
He enjoys nature. For me, I love the fact that he comes across as like black, all in black. His skin is of such a thing that you kind of go, is that ash gray? Eyes are fully black. You know, he exudes a aura of darkness about him.
Yeah, this is probably what I would have done at this time. Not so much in the Veil trilogy. I went a different direction with it. But this would definitely fit.
But he's looking out the window at the birdies in the distance.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like when we were starting
the
to describe
butterflies as they flit along.
When you just started describing them, like if we had we're inside Monono's head. Monono's head, it'd be like, I hate them almighty. But he did make a beautiful place. I really
place is so awesome.
It's so beautiful.
Sorry.
But yeah.
No doesn't like it.
But yeah, he literally. I just told you off mic after we got done reading. I was like, I could just see him like if we got his perspective. We write this as like, do the same thing. But then after he sees him, he literally starts to say the same information over again, and you cut. To Monono's perspective, where he's answering all the questions, but he's not talking to Troll because he doesn't know he's there. He is talking to an angel that Troll can't see, who has all these questions. But Monono doesn't realize the angel's asking questions about what happened there. He's just explaining, like, yeah, I kind of figured this, yeah, this, that, and then you cut back to, oh my God, what happened to you?
Troll walks in the room and he's like, hey, I just got done having a battle with this guy, and he works for the great demon,
the great
dragon. And Monono's like, yeah, I knew the great dragon was going to be setting a trap for me. I didn't realize it was going to be this, and this is why Dr. Toller was totally going to be the one to do the trap. Holy crap, you look like you just got done with a battle. And he's like, are you kidding me?
I honestly could not tell you why it's written that way. I could not tell you.
I also love the fact that you go from Monono being this very powerful and ancient knowledge source to, whoa, dude. Like just in an instant, he's just like, whoa, hold on, man.
See, I was doing Percy Jackson's Gods before Percy Jackson did them.
Yeah. I still don't like it, I'll be honest.
But by the way, I do have another note after that. It's like, thank God Monono is here to explain all our questions.
Yes, Monono,
that we don't have
exposition master.
And then I wrote down here, oh yeah, I forgot that I gave Toller a charm. Even when I transcribed this chapter already, like it was a while ago, and I forgot it again. Like it's just. There's something else in this chapter that we'll get to that is literally there for a specific reason and not for the reason why it's there.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, that's right. That's a I keep forgetting how he did this.
So one other thing that you as a writer have something quite often. And it happens a couple of times in this chapter.
What's that?
Where we get to a point where, Monono or somebody does a full explanation, and it is a wonderful ending. It closes everything up, and then you have another character go, "Oh, perfect. Okay.
Oh, I forgot to
Totally not necessary."
I forgot to put my we're back to the one
One
word
word
answers. I told you.
Interesting.
I warned you about this in the beginning of this
Concerning.
podcast. About this back in the beginning of this podcast in these chapters. We were gonna get a bunch of one word responses.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you about that. And then we get to we got at least one more. Well, down in the basement. I think that's the last
Meanwhile,
one.
down in the basement.
Yeah, I think that's the last one, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point if we get another one. At least one more. I'm not sure, but I think this is the last one. But yeah, we got to do that because, again, somehow I didn't know how to transition. So I've been transitioning
inside the cabin.
But this entire book, I've been transitioning to scenes like this multiple times with no harm. But for some reason here, I did. I think what it was this is a leftover from the original draft. In the original draft, I didn't. Yeah. But by this point, when I was playing around with, I had figured it out, but I didn't go again. Fake stuff.
Right.
I left it as it was because
yeah, you totally left it the way it was because that was that dude, couple of times like Monono finishes an entire thing, and then Troll is like perfect. Cyrus finishes an entire thing explaining something to Natalie, and she's like, "Okay," or "Thanks."
I actually have no notes whatsoever about the conversation between Natalie
Kiana.
Yeah. I have no notes on the whole conversation between Natalie and Cyrus. Anything you want to talk about there? Because I wrote nothing down.
It was a weird section of the chapter because really it solved absolutely nothing other than to be like, Natalie, you were told to wait here.
That we already knew.
And you didn't wait here. And now I'm here to tell you that, well, yeah, we are going to rescue you, of course. But not yet.
I think the reason this was put there is I wanted to have a chapter. This was me reworking the thing that's no longer in there.
Oh yeah.
And her trying to figure out what's going to happen, and I also wanted to have a way to get them to know to follow Cyrus.
Yeah.
Back. But so I was kind of trying to repurpose something, but I just didn't solve anything.
You never did it.
I could have started this conversation, started it with him popping up, and then just cutting to Troll listening in.
Yes.
And then going back and everything like that. But I do have a note here.
You have a note there.
I'm so glad, thank God, Monono started a rumor to confuse an all-knowing God.
Yes. Good job.
No, I know exactly why I put that there. Because back then, as a Christian, I could never figure out how someone, and it's a logical thing, but I explained it away thing. It's just beyond my understanding.
Yes.
How the devil, Lucifer, Satan,
the
bad guy, could convince himself he could win against what he knew he was up against.
Yeah.
An all-present, all-knowing. So any plan he made, he's right there basically over your shoulder.
He already knows it. He helped you bake this.
Yeah, there. So this was kind of there of, this is stupid. Oh no, I put it there because it's stupid because you shouldn't be, you can't beat this.
Right.
And it was to kind of show Monono's being manipulated. Not just by Lucifer or the great dragon, but by the Almighty himself.
The beast.
Into thinking he confused the righteous.
Yeah, that actually makes sense.
But it was there to point it out, but it's also just
Except for Cyrus already saw through their plans, man.
Because he's the Almighty.
Shh. Much like Sage isn't Michael.
He just said it. He literally tells that to
Michael shows up.
He literally tells Kiana that he's the Almighty. Natalie had a visit from the Almighty and me.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. How did I not know what I was setting up here?
I don't know.
Like
you so badly wanted, while writing this, for the Almighty to be a character that constantly interacts with these two, except for the fact that you had already made that character be Cyrus. And then you accidentally merged the two together without realizing it, but constantly referred to them as two separate things.
Well, no, because the reason why Cyrus was supposed to know everything was because he's being communicated with the Almighty.
Right.
This idea that the angels are going to know this stuff because they can seem all-knowing, in a sense, because they're being, or if they don't know, it's because the Almighty has chosen not to inform them.
Right.
And things, and things will happen according to his plan.
Yes.
Ugh.
All to the plan.
And then show how kind of and this book is really perfectly written, how brainwashed you have to believe. In a sense,
you have to throw a lot of things out the window to accept.
And that the angels are brainwashed to the point where they're like, oh, he's not telling us this. Well, it's going to go to his plan anyway. Don't worry, we'll work it out. We keep doing this. This is nothing wrong with this all-knowing God not telling us everything.
Seriously, a little communication would be helpful.
And them being okay with it. And how when everything goes according to plan, it was because of God.
Yep.
Everything went wrong, it's my fault. I fucked it up.
Of course. Don't you understand how this works? Come on. The CEO, the always is the right person. The cult leader. The religious figure.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, it's one of those things like, I literally did. The one thing this book captured perfectly was my thinking at the time.
I guess so.
On things. On how willing I was to just throw out. Serious stuff I couldn't understand. And it's should be a clear red light, warning. A red and everything. I wanted to say red herring, but a red herring is a mismotive.
Bit of a red flag for you.
There it is. That's what I was looking for.
Red herring works.
But because I was so conditioned that, it's because of God and we can't understand.
We can't understand the plan.
Because it's beyond what we're capable of. And how can he put his message for salvation so simply?
Yeah.
But everyone can fuck it up and not get it right. Too. And agree upon it. Anyway.
Really, it still boils down to be nice.
Yeah. Not even that.
Yes.
But if we continue, this is going to turn into a theology podcast, and we don't want that.
Not right now. What?
I've been saying for years we could probably do this. We'll never do it, but I think we'd have a lot of fun with it if we ever did. Anyway, so yeah, we had that, and
yeah.
That was my bullets.
Yeah, you've reached.
This is where we got to the point where Adam has stopped to moisten his drink twice now.
Yeah, I had to do it twice in this episode because Monono does a lot of talking.
You did it twice the last one too. So we have officially started Adam has to stop and take a drink count.
It's a Monono thing.
But you've only had to do it twice. You've never had to go higher than that.
That's true.
So far. But yeah, I still can't get. I love that. Like, thank God that Monono started a rumor.
Yeah.
To confuse it.
Oh, that's just weird.
And I also had a comment here. It's like, Cyrus was so smart not to think through running around the house without telling Kiana he's there.
Yeah. After crashing through the branches.
So I knew why I did this because I wanted to get like a perspective of Kiana being freaked out. I didn't need to show him coming in.
Yeah.
And him running around.
You start Kiana's arc in this chapter is Kiana is super afraid of everything. And we end this with Kiana is just answering questions and then closes her eyes to accept her fate.
That was your choice of how to
I don't know what you're talking about. I read
Anyway.
what is written in front of me.
Not always. You add shit all the time.
No.
Anyway, the way like that whole part could have been just cut out.
Yeah.
We could have cut to Kiana's perspective, and then still had that her scene where that scene was when we pick into her head, and gone from there.
Yep.
And it'd have been fine. It would have cut down this chapter a little bit, not much.
I don't think you really needed to cut down, word-wise or anything, but, as you could have, you know what? I like the chapter the way it is. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you could, if you really want to keep it, you could then cut to it later, like after the.
I enjoy a whole lot of meanwhile in the basement.
Yeah.
Back at the cabin.
Meanwhile, back at the cabin. Meanwhile, back at the Batcave. And yes, there's a cave that's coming up, and I will not be surprised. I will be so disappointed now if there's not a back at the cave.
Back at the Batcave.
Yeah. Wait, I actually made it in there? But yeah, that wasn't. He at least should have been like, "Oh, I need wood. Oh, hey, Kiana, I'm here. I just gotta go get some wood for the fire."
Because I don't know about you, but you suddenly hear a lot of branches breaking, and I don't care how soft of a landing Cyrus is able to do. He still lands with some force. And if he was moving that quickly, it's going to kind of shake the cabin.
Yeah.
And boom, lands. And she's just like, what the fuck? What is that?
It's kind of like, you can count it as angelic, a superpower that there's no, like, thud or anything, or sonic boom of how fast he's moving.
Yeah.
But ironically, this is actually a scene. I literally went and just saw Captain America, A Brave New World. This is in the opening thing, so it's not big of a spoiler.
Okay, no spoilers.
He's going into.
Also, by the time this episode comes out,
yeah, it'll be months away.
Yeah, I will have seen the movie.
Yeah, it's like he's on a mission, and he flies straight down and lands, and they all point guns at him. He's like, "Wait for it!" Sonic boom onto him.
That means that he broke the sound barrier.
Yep, and he lands, and he's like, "Wait for it," and it like comes down on them. It's like, it was pretty like something like that we could say would happen here, but because he's angelic,
maybe
it doesn't happen. But yeah,
with his glowing angelic wings.
The holograms that I can't.
The hologram.
That I could not use the word holograms.
No, you could not.
Though I know that's what I was thinking of.
They looked digital.
That's what I was thinking of when I just thought of his wings.
They looked like they belonged in a video game from the future. Sure.
Well, this was written in 2004, 2005, and they were clearly playing 2000 on the PlayStation 5.
Yes.
So
they're playing Cyberpunk 2077.
I don't know what was the game. I can't remember the game they were playing. We had picked a specific game for them to be playing on the PlayStation 5. I can't remember what it was. Did I like GTA 6? GTA 6, I think it was. I think they're testing. Oh. They're beta testing GTA 6 in the
game
past.
Still hasn't come out yet.
This fall. It's gonna be out this fall. This fall.
I have a new series to play.
And Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater Delta comes out in August.
Whatever.
So I'll be playing that. I gotta get the new Metal Gear Solid pack. Anyway, I do love how in here we get how besides the I'm gonna wait for Michael.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light, Michael will be showing up right around that time. Oh God, I almost fucked it up.
But we do have part of the plan of how they're gonna rescue Natalie.
Oh yeah.
Is someone is going to distract no and his wizard. Is Troll a wizard? Nah.
Practicer of the dark arts.
Oh,
nobody kicked.
Oh, we'll come back to the dark arts thing. Okay. I have a specific note on that.
Because I was going to say, nobody kicked in Jacob's door and said, "Jacob, you're a wizard." And he was like, "Who the hell are you?" And he was like, "Sorry, I was supposed to meet a guy named Harry here."
But yay big scar on his head. Yeah. I killed him a second ago.
All right, you get to go to school.
Fuck.
All right, I guess I'll go to
school. 30.
Yep.
Well, you're going to school
I
now.
have to bring somebody back from here.
If anyone says your name is Harry.
I'm a hairy wizard.
But yeah, like, we learn how, we'll get to the distraction. I think that is next chapter.
All right.
Yeah, or it's the next 2 chapters.
Sage finally
But-
come back?
Ironically, the answer to Kiana is Sage. But we won't learn about this until, like, 4 more chapters.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I think originally we got this right after this. But in the rewriting and mixing things up, we decided, let's put it off.
Oh, yeah.
Let's have Sage make a dramatic entrance. Not that what happened
Sage
wasn't
has been
dramatic.
missing for over half the book.
Oh, no. Not that how he comes in here isn't dramatic. He needs to come in even more dramatic entrance.
Even more
And
dramatic.
I'm going to tell you right now, the dramatic entrance we get, his first dramatic entrance, is nothing compared to what we actually get was.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway.
all right.
When we get to okay, so when we cut to the Shadkin,
Yes.
originally we were cutting on Cyrus praying with Kiana to become a Christian,
Okay.
which will come into play in a moment. Because I didn't fix something when I took that part out.
Yeah. Yeah, you did not.
And then I got to the flip
Oh,
the whole thing.
and you didn't let the reader know that the host body of this Shadkin was Dr. Toller.
You're supposed to remember
otherwise-
that. We covered that already.
That's not the reader's responsibility.
If people are gonna read through this book so fast, they're gonna remember.
No, they won't. No, they won't.
So you don't trust your readers? You think the reader is stupid? How elitist of you.
I mean, I think everyone's stupid in one way or another.
That's true. And you're the stupidest of all stupid people.
That's why I enjoy Dragon Ball Z and their 10 minutes of recap every 30-minute episode.
me the smartest.
They only had one 30-minute episode, and that was the first episode.
Oh. And
Yeah.
we finally get to the part that of an item that's in this, but not for the Quinn jewels.
What the hell are those?
We saw what they're used for.
Yeah.
That's not why they're in there.
Okay.
They're in there to add to the mythos. I wanted to have a mythos.
It allowed them... No, the green one allows them to jump
The
from
green one
place
allowed
to place.
Allow him to go transfer, save his location, I believe. The red one stores the host body.
Okay.
And the other colors we don't know because they didn't come into play. But because I didn't know what they did. But I wanted to have other options for the future. It was literally to have something to do and something cool.
I do love the fact that
So this is a
Monono's just like, and there are others that do other things.
And no, this is a creature that has to have these when this thing can literally travel through the shadows.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the dark arts, thank God I'm so glad Monono is here to explain all these things to the master of the dark arts.
Yep.
Idiot. Troll.
Troll is kind of a moron in this. His like, as a character, we had Dr. Piper, who gets killed by Monono very early on.
Did he? His spine was just snapped.
Oh,
He didn't
yeah,
say
I know.
He died.
But he, whatever, he's taken out of the book by his own boss. And then he shows back up, and then he's kind of a moron from then on. Even though he's supposed to be number 2 in charge.
And the greatest sorcerer in all the world.
Yeah, he almost got his ass handed to him.
Until
And
a guy,
only one spell worked, and then a teleport spell was the other thing.
and
Good thing he wasn't on the 9th floor, because he wouldn't have been able to use the teleport.
Oh, we're gonna get there in a second. But it's he is almost killed by a guy whose life can't be harmed because of a charm,
Yeah.
a magical
Yeah.
charm
And
that I forgot about until I
and he's been around long enough that he's built up immunity to other magic.
I think it wasn't like immunity. It's more like counters.
Okay.
Immunity is like more of a like immunity spells to them.
Yeah.
So they can't affect him. That's what I think I was going with. Countermeasures.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so glad Monono is around to explain all this off to this master of the dark arts, idiot troll.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, Dr. Toller, I don't care what the book says. He is totally not a boots-wearing guy.
Yeah.
I read
No,
I'm
no,
like,
he's
I keep forgetting he has boots. I wrote him with boots on. There is no way that man would ever wear boots.
No, that's why when I thought it was somebody else because I was like, no, he wears dress shoes.
Yeah.
They're not shiny. They are they're brown leather shoes. He wears a navy blue shirt, navy blue suit, in my opinion. Brown belt. Mm-hmm. Brown tie too.
Oh.
White shirt. It's a wonderful chocolate brown though.
Ugh. So a ship tie.
No. It's darker than that. Anyway, if your shit is that dark, you should probably drink more water first of all. More water. Because that's dehydrated. Okay, man? Just go see a doctor. Okay? Seriously.
But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like I'm glad he exists there. Not a boot wearing guy. And by the way, Adam, way to make Hannah not worried at all.
At no point is she written as quivering beneath this monster.
But you've added stuff like that before without having me directed to it. But now you choose not to. Wow.
Because she just I think it's more she went into shock.
No.
Yep.
You just forgot.
She went into pure shock at that moment. She was like, actually, you know what? She had a sense of peace about her because in the cut scene, she was what landed on the cutting room floor. Yeah. She had accepted her peace with the Almighty.
But she doesn't. And then I wrote, that's the part I didn't fix, was her to go with the Almighty. You never became a Christian, Kenna. You're sorry, you're going to hell.
Yep.
When anything dies, you're not going to be with the Almighty.
Yeah,
you're going to die.
Purgatory.
No, going to hell.
Wow, hell.
Purgatory is for those mystical like beasts like vampires, werewolves. This is what Supernatural has taught us. Get with it, Adam.
Jeez, not that.
And Adam, by the way, Adam,
they mixed way too many mythos in that.
And by the way, Adam, it's clear that you've been listening to Dungeon Crawl Carl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
With that voice, but especially the voice of the Shadkin in Toller's body.
That one was weird because I know that Toller was, I always went with a really jowly style voice for myself. And, Dr. Toller's over here somewhere. And the Shadkin, on the other hand.
Way to make the Shadkin not intimidating at all anymore. That's all.
I honestly, you ever see something that's all long gangly? It's
no.
Yeah, it's super like crazy, man.
No, but it's clear you've been listening.
It's gonna murder somebody.
It's clear you've been listening to Book 7 of Dungeon Crawl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There you are, and you're further than I am in the book.
Oh yes.
You're almost done.
I'm
only in the first 18 chapters, so it's clear.
I'm gonna get it done by the end of the week.
Yeah, you are. I'll be maybe a few chapters long because I don't have to drive to work this week because I'm off.
See?
So I won't
just sit down at one point while you're doing something else. Just turn it on.
Yeah, I've done that before. I still haven't gone back to this audiobook. It was an audiobook when I started getting the audiobooks. I could just listen to whenever. And I did that. And I got so in the zone of what I was working on. I came back and I could not tell you how we got there in the book. I continued listening to the audio. I thought about putting it back and just stopping. But I went all the way through the book not knowing what was going on.
Wow.
Apparently there was enough happened in that time frame. So I've always been cautious about doing that.
My biggest problem is having other people try to talk to me while I'm clearly listening to a book.
Well, just tell your press partner to shut the fuck up.
Sometimes it's the boss, though.
Oh, that's understandable.
And then I'm like, oh, well, 1 second, because my earbuds are not very good, and I can't tap them to pause things.
Oh, that sucks to be you.
So I have to go over to the phone and pause it there.
Sucks to be you.
I know. It doesn't. Sometimes it works. That's the sad part. Sometimes you hit that double tap, and it'll be like, all right, I'll pause. And then you come back and you double tap, and it'll be like, all right, we're going to keep going. Other times you do it, and it goes, so you wanted to increase the bass volume? No, what the hell? Bass boost. Movie soundtrack. I was like, no, stop that.
All right. Anything you want to add to this?
No, but I can't wait to do more of the Shadkin.
I think we get maybe 1 or 2 more chapters at most.
One day, one of these people needs to get an achievement.
Achievement.
Oh, yes.
So you can
by the way, anybody listening to this, seriously, by this point, if you haven't listened to Dungeon Crawler Carl, do it. Also, my other suggestion, He Who Fights with Monsters. Book 12 came out, either is coming out or came out in May. I don't know when this episode is coming out.
It's probably going to be around there because I believe... Well, no, this is based on if starting at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
So this would probably be late June.
Oh, God. Okay, in that case.
June or early July, maybe.
Pay attention to my channel because I'm definitely talking about it at this point.
All right, we'll wrap things up here. Let us know down in the comment section what you thought of this chapter. Do you think that I was all over the place? Do you think it was a good bringing all the storylines together here? In some sense. Comment down below on your thoughts of the Shadkin's voice, both in and outside of Dr. Tuller's body. This episode is going to be cleaning up that chapter is going to be a nightmare.
It's going to be so
how many times you had to stop to realize, oh, it's this guy talking.
Yeah.
And when I finally pointed that out, you didn't go back and do it for some reason.
Nope.
But you did it twice already. God damn you, Adam. Anyway, you made it this far, so we're assuming you enjoyed this episode. So why don't you go and hit that smash. No. Sacrifice it as a prayer to the holy algorithm.
The holy algorithm.
And subscribe because we've got writing content on this channel. It'll be on screen now. If you're not into the mood for that, why don't you go and check out Adam's channel and watch some terrible gameplay. Because, they're so great at being bad.
Mediocre.
No, bad. You're bad.
Just barely above bad.
There's 2 highlight reels of how bad you are at a soccer game with cars and a game where you run around with people and die.
Okay, fair enough.
Bye!